Welcome back to Sledgehammer Horror, guys. I am Ken Sledge.
And I'm Ashley Sledge.
And let's talk horror.
So we've been brought here today to talk about the movie Our Happy Place.
So a little synopsis about this movie. Raya wakes up in the forest, cold and confused, with no memory about how she got there. Each day, it happens again, and by the third day, she wakes in a shallow grave. I'm not going to read the rest of the synopsis, guys, because it ruins the whole fucking film.
We might as well just recite it with the synopsis,
because this is ridiculous, and I should have pre-read this before, but this is the whole movie right here, guys. So, so that's where I'm going to leave that off.
So we're going to talk about the positives, the negatives, and we are going to spoil this film besides the synopsis. So if you haven't seen it, please check it out and then come back and watch our positives.
But for now, let's get into the positives.
So some of the positives, the acting in this movie is really good.
Yes.
There are certain characters that we'll talk about in the spoilers that definitely play on the creepy factor. Mm-hmm. And our lead, she did really great.
Raya's amazing.
Yeah, Raya did really good. So
there's a lot of very creepy imagery in this movie. This to me is the independent version of what would happen if What Lies Beneath had a baby with Gothica.
Yeah.
If you put those two movies together and made it an indie film, that's what you would get.
We actually watched this one apart, and my text to him was, "This gives me What Lies Beneath vibes." So,
I totally felt it.
Yeah. And there's so much feeling of dread just from really early on in the movie. This kind of happens during the pandemic, and just the feeling of dread and isolation is throughout the entire movie.
It uses the pandemic in a smart way.
Yeah.
This is not a, let's capitalize on the pandemic. It makes sense for them to use it. This also portrays the loneliness one feels when they're trying to take care of a chronically sick loved one.
Yeah.
And for anybody that's been there, they'll know that feeling of,
when nobody can come around because they're chronically sick, and you could make them sick, so you're the one taking care of them. You're the one that has, I don't want to say burden, but I mean, it's a lot for one person to take on, and just watch your loved one just lay there and, potentially
and knowing
be
that
dying.
You can't have anybody else around because COVID could make it worse.
So, yes. And it really, we already talked about it, but
The What Lies Beneath and Gothica vibes in this movie are off the charts.
Yeah, and if you know me, I love What Lies Beneath. It's one of, probably my top 10 horror movies. Yes, I said horror movies.
And I co-sign that.
Yeah, I really love that movie. So those are our positives. Now let's get into our negatives. So some of the negatives, it does take a while to get going. It's definitely a slow burn. And so if you're not into slow burns, this might not be the movie for you.
This is a very...
I feel we'll talk about this in the spoilers. Yeah.
Those of you that know me know, if you put fade outs in your movie, I'm not going to be happy. And one fade out here and there to make sense with the movie is fine. Using them as a form of editing is very lazy.
I feel like it's better just to go from one scene to another.
Don't fade it out.
Yeah, honestly.
Fade outs to me are a passing of time. If you're passing time or something like that, a fade out is fine. Going from one scene to another and constantly fading in and out, not for me.
There is so many flashbacks and repetitive scenes, and I get it. It's because
of what's happening.
Need it. Yeah, because of the movie, you have to have these, but it's there's so many of them, and it's you're watching same thing over and over again.
It's hard to put this in the negative because you do need it for the story of the film, but it is very repetitive and hard to watch. The same thing over and over again. Now, one of my biggest pet peeves is fade outs.
Yes.
One of Ashley's biggest pet peeves is when they make things louder just for a jump scare, like a door slamming, an alarm clock ringing. At this point, it's just overstimulating.
It does. It overstimulates the shit out of me. I literally jumped over a cat meowing in 1408. When they do that shit in movies, I hate that.
Yeah.
I feel like that is a cheap jump scare.
Yes. Agreed. And they do a lot of that in this movie. And the ending is extremely predictable.
I definitely called it. And you probably, with us saying What Lies Beneath vibes, like you probably will call it too, to be honest. So,
but not just that, but this is another one of those movies that's about the journey and not the destination.
Yeah.
Even though the ending's predictable, I like how it plays out.
The ending pays off. It is a slow burn, but it definitely pays off in the ending.
Even if you don't like this film, you could learn a thing about writing a slow burn film by watching this.
Yeah.
You need the ending to be a big payoff. And that's what this movie does. And we're going to talk about that in the spoilers. So we're about to get into that.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen this movie, check it out where available. If you have, let's get into the spoilers.
So now we're spoiling things, guys. A woman, she wakes up in the woods. She has no shoes on. Her foot is cut. She's covered in dirt. Has no idea why she's there. Right. Clearly, by the way, she wakes up and is confused.
Right. So she walks back home barefoot. She takes a shower and she has flashbacks of her and her significant other having a good time. Being in love.
So she checks on her husband Paul, who he's in bed. He has an oxygen mask on. And she just goes on and does her daily routine of making him breakfast and feeding him and, all the things that she does to take care of him.
Right. So at night she has weird dreams about hiking and running from something, and then she's waking up in the woods. So we were talking about earlier, there's a lot of waking up in the woods that just happens.
So she also, in her dream, she has, it's about her husband, and he's chasing her, and there's other women in it. And she wakes up in the woods, and she has a shovel with her also. So obviously it's going to play later on. Yeah.
So Raya's husband's not able to communicate, but he sees the shadow out of the corner of his eye.
Yeah. And when Raya goes, she talks to her friend about everything, and her friend is like, maybe you're having this because you're in this isolation. There's no friends around.
Wake up and put on makeup.
Yeah, so she goes to the post office, and she sees this this poster of a missing woman, which I feel like we needed to say because it comes into play.
It may come into play later on. Raya makes a nice Christmas dinner, and she takes Paul out on the wheelchair, and then his wheelchair starts to move on its own.
Yeah.
And you're like, maybe the house is a little haunted.
What's really going on here? And she has another dream about Paul with an axe, but she was woken up. So
we don't know how it ends.
No.
And that's what we're really trying to figure out is how these dreams end. And her dream of Paul chasing her, and the stones have faces of other women that have been tortured. She tries to even duct tape herself to the bed.
Yeah, literally she tries everything she can. When she's sleeping, you see her being pulled by this woman that has it's a woman from the picture, and it's her.
And pulling Raya by her necklace.
Yeah, by her necklace, which also will, come into fruition later on in the movie.
So Raya called the police and told them a woman was in her house and it looked like the missing girl.
Yeah, so she's that missing girl was in my house. And they live all the way out in the woods, and they're far away from
any type of society at all.
Yeah, so it's going to take them forever to get to her anyways. And one part of this is she leaves her door open, and it's in the middle of the winter, and I'm like, why are we leaving?
Your house has to be fucking cold.
Yeah. So she goes and buys this night vision camera, and she sets it up to look down the hallway where her bedroom is and where her husband is. And when she's replaying it, she's seeing her reality is what she sees and what's really happening is
two different things.
Yeah. And she's watching herself just grab an axe and walk down the hallway to her husband's room. So and her just standing around, and she, I don't know, what she sees and what's actually happening isn't the same. And
from here you just watch her mentally decline. Her mental stability is going way
literally she's just peeling wallpaper and standing and just gazing yeah. She has this flashback, or I don't know, I guess it's
a dream.
Yeah.
Maybe?
of Paul, and he's picking up this lady. She's stuck in the snow on the side of the road. And then he this is part
one of my favorite parts of this part is when she realizes this dude's crazy.
Yeah.
And she's like, I think I'm going to get out and walk. And he stops the car and he's like, no, you're going to run. Mm-hmm. Like that part to me was like, that's fucking scary.
So
like that's fucking scary.
He kills her with an axe. And he also, there's numerous women that he has killed. And he takes like their jewelry and he gifts it to Raya.
And at the beginning of the movie, you see him giving her all this jewelry.
Yeah.
So we don't want to talk about it then, but now we can talk about it. All the jewelry he's given her is from women that he's killed.
So the ghost lady that was like pulling her by her necklace, that was her necklace. Yeah. Which is weird because she's seen her, like the missing, her missing, and she noticed, like, I have that same necklace.
Well, every time that Raya wakes up, she's waking up in different spots of the woods closer to the house.
Right.
She keeps getting closer to the house, and then she finds the dead body of the missing girl right next to her house.
Well, she also, like we said, she always has her shovel with her. So she's like digging up these bodies. Mm-hmm. So when she walks to Paul's room, with like the axe, she goes in and like.
There's one part where she hits the door, and I'm like, please don't make a fucking Shining reference. Like, please don't do a Shining reference right now.
With the axe, yeah. So so that's what she does. Like, she takes the axe, and like, I don't know if she's gonna kill it. Well, I guess she does.
She fucks Paul up.
Kill him. Yeah.
she axes the shit out of Paul at this point. So she's been communicating with her friend through like FaceTime and stuff throughout the movie. No really important conversations, just a friend, and then this time she calls her and she's like, what are you talking about? It's been months since I've heard from you.
Yeah.
And then we realize that, that's how out of it Raya is. So her friend and her husband go up to the mountain to make sure she's okay because she hasn't heard from her. But someone else answers the door and they're like, oh, you're looking for the old owners. Yeah, they passed away. And these two are like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Like, how? Like, all we know is it was peaceful. That's all we know is they passed away peacefully. The fuck they did.
No, and like he got axed the fuck. I mean, no.
And then Raya puts a gun in her mouth and she unalives herself as well.
Yeah, so then you see Raya and Paul, like they are still haunting the house of these new tenants. So they're still in the house. So all these ghosts that you're constantly seeing, like, I don't know if you're like get killed in the woods or get killed by the house, like you stay there.
But that's what they're implying.
Yeah.
Overall, I didn't have the best time with this movie. This was way too slow of a burn for me, but the ending brings it up a little bit. So I'm going to give this a 2 out of 5. When you see Raya attack him and then take her own life, then you get the twist of, they're still haunting the house, it really plays off good. I know it sounds like such a trope, but it does have that. I've seen this told before with What Lies Beneath, and then Gothica when you have Halle Berry being possessed by, the people that her husband killed and killing her husband. Like, I've seen this done before, but they did it in a very, a deeper way, I guess. So, you got to give it props for that, at least. So I'm going to give this a 2 out of 5.
I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. A lot of this movie, I felt anxious. And like I said, I kind of called the whole, like, What Lies Beneath. I knew Paul was going to end up being the bad guy. Like, I just knew it. Like, I had this feeling. But there's just so many times that, I just felt the anxiety and the dread, and I felt like they played it off pretty well. So a 3 out of 5, I feel like, is a good amount for this.
So make sure you guys are checking it out because, like I said, especially if you're fans of What Lies Beneath and Gothica, I really think this will be right up your alley. It is a good watch with a lot of tension, a lot of terror. So let us know in the comments, what did you guys think of this film? Would you compare it to What Lies Beneath and Gothica? We would love to know your guys' opinions as well. If you haven't already, please like, comment, and subscribe. It does help build the channel more than you know. And follow Sledgehammer Horror on social media. Those links are in the description as well. But until next time, keep talking horror.
Stay where you are.
And we'll see you guys soon.